And you know, I am sometimes the number one combatant of nostalgia. But when it gets me...
I don't think so.
What?
I really don't think you... I don't think you are the number one combatant. You welcome it every time it comes up. Nostalgia happens and you be like, you look at it and you look around and see if anybody's looking at you. And if they're not really looking at you, you clap along too. But I think nostalgia will be getting you.
No, I am against nostalgia. I think we need to keep our stories in the present. We need to focus on the now, and we need to talk about what's going on here today. However, today we're going to talk about what happened back then.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of another relaunch. I am Wendell Vaughn, aka Quasar.
Oh, you and Quasar. I'm the Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga.
The Baba Yaga, who is Russian, that we were just discussing. She's the deity, the goddess of earth, witchcraft, and misfortune. We'll hear a little bit more about her later.
I'm sure we will. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, this week dragged on for some reason. I have no idea what was going on. I thought it was just me, but I would talk to other people and they were also saying the same thing. So I felt a little bit better knowing it wasn't just me. I did do my next Pilates class though, and that was very exciting. I was the only person sweating in the room for some reason. I don't really understand what that's about. And let me think. So we're on the little reforming machine, right? And so there are three, you have to attach this latch to the weight things so you can get your resistance. And there are three different colors. There's white, gray, black. White's the lightest, gray is like a middleweight, black is the heaviest. The girl who was instructing the class, she would tell everybody, mind you, I'm the only guy in this class. She would tell everybody, she would everybody put on, one white ring and 2 gray ones. And then she'd be like, Keenan, you do a gray one and 2 blacks. What? How did we get here? Why am I doing something different than what everybody else is doing?
Maybe she just wanted Joyce to be a little, she saw you could do more.
No, I want to do what everybody else does. This is a team effort.
Potential.
I want the potential of the other ladies who aren't sweating as heavy as I am. Okay.
She wanted you to do it and give it to you. So I'm sure you stepped up and did it too.
I mean, I did. It was very exciting. How are you?
I am good. I've been crazy busy with working and lifting everything, but I'm good.
Got to work, unfortunately.
But let's go ahead and get started and let's get into these updates of the week. So there was the finally official announcement of the date for the Wolverine game. We'll be launching on September 15th, 2026. I'm assuming you are excited for this game.
I'm very excited. I have a PS5 now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So it's
play some games.
I'm still getting used to the controllers, but I'm going to have to eventually play it anyway because, they're going to discontinue the Xbox now that AI lady is in charge.
Right. No sound special though, but Team PlayStation anyway. So,
I guess I'm here. I can't even say anything anymore.
I'm excited for the game. Did you check out? Okay, be honest. Did you peek into any of the leaks when the stuff came out?
Oh yeah,
for this game.
I was on every single one. I wasn't retweeting them, but I definitely put them in my bookmarks and went back and watched them later. The game looked amazing. The trailer looks amazing. Everything about it looks amazing. I'm super excited to play it. I just feel like, when was the last time we had a Wolverine game? When the movies came out, the Fox movies?
I think the movies, the Fox movies, tie-in games. I think were the solo.
And this one actually looks like it's going to be good. you know, for all the folks who love to play a girl, we know that Jean's also going to be in the game at some point. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to play with her. You know, I love me some telekinesis.
Like, don't even try to front. Like, you know, you love some telekinesis.
Like, I am a psychic girly all the way down. So she's definitely going to get her playthroughs with me. I won't even pretend. But yeah, I'm just excited for it in general.
Yeah, the trailer looked fantastic for it already, so I was super excited. All the tactical gear that Wolverine has looks cool. I wonder how many different like suits is he gonna have in here. I want the brown suit for sure.
Everybody wants the brown suit. Brown suit will definitely be in there. I hope we see X-Force suit. I think we'll get brown suit. We'll get X-Force suit. We'll probably get Patch Madripoor look.
Oh, yeah.
That's a class.
He's gonna go to Madripoor. I think it's in the game.
Yeah, boom. There you go.
As well as Mystique. And I believe, I could be wrong. Y'all can tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but I believe Callisto is in the game. And she will be played by, oh man, I'm blanking on her name. Very funny comedian. She was on Mad TV. Actually met her at, I met her at Comic-Con last year. And she Deborah Wilson.
Oh, okay. I thought that's who you might be talking about because you know she does a lot of gaming work now.
Yeah,
but I just wasn't sure. I didn't hear about her being Callisto. That's cool.
I believe she's going to be Callisto in. I think that's her. I think actually I don't know if I'm supposed to know that. I think that was a part of the leak. Then she's going to be Callisto in the Wolverine game. I don't know if I told that story about me meeting her last.
No, I've never heard that. I did not know that. That's like exciting. I probably would have cried.
So I walk out of Comic-Con, right? And I see her and I'm like, oh my God, that's Deborah Wilson. You're hilarious. You are like iconic, legendary. So I'll walk up to her and I'm like, oh my God, I think you're so funny. Like, I want you to know you are a legend. Like, before I get out of here, before you leave, I want you to know you're a legend. And she was like, I'm not no legend. Like, stop. I was like, no, seriously, you are like a comedian. You're the reason a lot of people try to be funny. Like, you are hilarious. And then she was like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, oh, it's Lazaric. And she went on this like 2-3 minute rant about how my name sounded like something you prescribed somebody.
Oh my gosh.
And it was so funny.
But say, you think I'm funny? I'm gonna show you hilarious.
Yo, she was hilarious. But shout out to her. I think she would do a fantastic job doing some Callisto work there. I wonder, does that mean? I assume that means Morlocks, or is she? I wonder, is she just gonna be in?
Definitely some Morlocks. Probably we'll probably see Berserker. Who I always like for some reason, but I think that's partly because of the X-Men Evolution cartoon. But no, I liked him before that too. He's the one with the electricity powers, and he used to have like the little hair mohawk. Yeah, was that what that was?
I think that's what it was supposed to.
Is that would hang off in the front or something like that?
He was also in Wolverine the X-Men.
Oh, he was. They love to give him a lot, but he's like a Morlock that always would pop up too. That's probably also why I liked him.
Shout out to the Morlocks. Yeah. But I'm excited for it. I would definitely
some of them
get in this game. I wonder, is it in the same universe as Spider-Man or not? Probably. I think it's an Insomniac game. I think it's in the same universe. Okay. There has also been this big talk, and we will see it, and I guess in a year or so, if it will become true, about the WB deal and Netflix and Paramount. What we have recently learned is that there had been a bunch of back and forth on who was going to be buying WB, but Netflix has now backed out of the deal, and Paramount has moved forward with purchasing WB. Now, obviously, they still need to go through other kind of regulatory things and have this entire deal reviewed before it can actually happen, which will probably be like, a year and a half before that'll happen. But it looks like if that does go through, Paramount will now own WB. Now, on a nerd standpoint, it's pretty bad for the comic book stuff. But we'll get to that in a second. And for the way it impacts like real life, it is wild to witness the like purchase of media. um, the Skydance CEO basically telling Trump that he was going to, go after WB so that they can take care of CNN, because CNN is a known like anti-Trump station. It's wild to witness that they could end up doing that, like that's crazy.
I think it's just wild to witness, and it's wild to watch the government like help do it, and for everyone to just kind of like watch it happen and we not be able to do anything about it, because Netflix and WB made this deal and we got to see Paramount try and push a bid every week that we get rejected. But as soon as they say, oh, this bid with Paramount and WB goes due, now Netflix only has 4 days to make a counter offer. Paramount's been bidding for months. Why we only got 4 days? The writing was on the wall. And it was like, no, this is not meant for you to have. But then it's crazy on a Paramount front, because it's like you're literally losing money to make this happen. You have to pay Netflix now. You got to pay them $2.8 billion to terminate the contract. Netflix, use this money. It's time to bring back Castlevania. We need Castlevania. We need Nocturne. We need Symphony of the Night. Any other spinoffs that you have prepared, bring back the Belmonts, bring back Alucard, bring back the vampires, bring back Castlevania. Netflix, this is what you are to spend your money on. These are your orders.
Restructure into doing longer seasons for your shows.
22 episodes of Castlevania. This is what the fans want to see.
Invest in your projects. People are willing to ride the ride of your stories if you give them time to continue to grow. Hopefully that brings some stuff for Netflix, but
we'll see. Netflix got their money regardless. It's like I saw the little press release that they had put out, and they said, this deal would have been nice to have. It was a good deal, like for the right price, but like we don't need it for any price. Like we're good. WB is the one that's failing, and have been for a while. Like, to think about how many times WB has been bought out now, it's kind of ridiculous. And to know that they have like consistently just had issues internally with their management and their CEOs and all of that stuff. I remember not too long ago, did you ever watch the movie The Iron Giant?
Yes.
I'll never forget, like, it's an older movie. But I'll never forget like going back and reading like all the behind the scenes drama that WB had going with that, and like how they weren't trying to push it, and just like the marketing issues that were going around with it. And it's just like this stuff was happening when I was like a child. And here I am, a grown man, and it's still going on. Like, who is the problem? And it's like, hey, I would say maybe it is right to sell it, but you keep selling and it's still not working. So I don't know.
It just in the span of this podcast, WB has been bought like 3 different times. Like it's pretty bad. I think that I don't know if they are looking for a way out from all of the debt that they have, but they need to, I don't know, they got to figure something out. It's crazy to think about on the comic book side of the way that this will affect DC Comics and the things that they do there. I don't think there will be a big impact as far as people being like let go, like writers and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it'll trickle down that far, but there definitely will be some restructuring of things. Certain characters will definitely not be used as much anymore in favor of other types of characters, and
discrimination comics in full force.
It definitely will become that. It's wild that they just try to get their movie universe off the ground, and they're definitely going to have to. They won't have to, but they will probably be thinking or considering of starting it all over again, because it'll be a whole new group of people who will be coming in, and everyone wants to work on their own projects. No one likes to anymore anyway. They don't like to pick up where anyone else had left off. They want their own stuff.
If they restart, they should restart with Aquaman. It is WB's only $1 billion little film.
Hey, why not? What else do they got to lose? Nothing.
We've already seen who brings the money in. It's not Superman. They don't know what they want to do with Batman. It's definitely not Wonder Woman. It's definitely not Flash. You done put Green Lantern on TV.
Dang.
But you know who did have a successful movie? Let's
What about the sequel?
It was all right.
You know what? Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll be right back.
Cool.
Welcome back, y'all. This is the book portion of the show. And this week up first is going to be the history of the DC universe, the Dakota incident. Now, this had several creators. Let me get this correct.
It was a big anthology type series, yes?
I wouldn't necessarily say it was an anthology series because it was a full, like, story. Like, it wasn't like a bunch of different stories within it.
Okay. Was it a retelling
story? A little bit. So Act 1 was written by Joseph Illich, and the art was by Valentin Delandro with colors by Marissa Luis. Act 2 was written by Stephanie Williams with art by Carlo Paglian and Steven Segovia, with inks by Jason Pax and colors by John Kalitz. And Act 3 was by Morgan Hampton with art by Fico Isio, and the colors were by Ulysses Areola. And the prelude and epilogue were done by Nicholas Draper Ivey, and the art was by Edwin Gauman with colors by Andrew Dahlhaus. Now, I love the issue. I'm just go ahead and get that out the way.
Okay, that's
I love
good.
it. If anybody knows me, you know that I'm a huge Static fan, and I have been wanting him to exist within the DC universe for a really long time. There has always been like some legal issues surrounding him, a lot of red tape, so things just could not really be done with him. But this DC has recently been putting out the history of the DC universe. I think they've mostly been written by Mark Waid, and they've been basically, y'all know, DC always restarting and switching up their continuity, but they wanted to have a series that pretty much can tell you the start and finish of basically where everything kind of fits. Now, there was a issue of Mark Waid's run that said, oh, there were these Dakota superheroes like Static and Rocket and Icon, but like they just disappeared and no one knows what happened. So people were like, okay, well, they exist now in the DC universe. They're not on a separate world. What's going on? This issue, it kind of explains all of that. Now, the story opens with Beacon, who I talked about on the last episode. And sorry for the spoilers. I realize now the last episode I talked about Beacon, but it was stuff he was doing in this. It was because I got the preview for this mixed up with what we were talking about last week. But this issue opens with Beacon fighting Shiv. Now, if anyone remembers the Static Shock TV series, there was the guy with purple hair. He could make these like psychic weapons on his hands. He's got he used these like two swords. His name was Shiv. Now, Shiv is older now. He's got long hair, and him and Beacon are fighting. Beacon's really cool. He has the exact same powers as his mom, Rocket. And by the end of the fight, there's this big temporal problem. You know, time is messing up. He asks his belt to like do the time saving protocols and just thrust him into the time stream. Now, for the rest of this issue, we end up basically watching everything unfold through Beacon's eyes as he's being thrust back in time. Basically, we get an entire retelling of Static and the other Milestone characters, you know, the whole Big Bang and all that kind of stuff going down. Now we get to the point of Hardware having a run-in with Alva. Edwin Alva was the like big benefactor of the city, I guess you can kind of call him. He was the big industrial man. He's got all the money, and he would put money back into the city, trying to make everything better on Paris Island.
Okay.
With Hardware. But when the Big Bang happened, he sold Hardware out and said that the idea for the the Bang Baby Q juice was Hardware, and Hardware ended up having to take the fall for
Hardware, he's the one. He has the armor. He's like Iron Man.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He's got the armor. Now, when Hardware goes back to Alvin Industries, when Alvin's dead. Now, Beacon is like, what? This is crazy. Like, in my timeline, that's not how things happen. Turns out, at the Big Bang, when the police used that Q gas, Edwin Alvin said that was only going to be tracking people. Like, they were going to invent this new stuff that once it got on the people's clothes, that we would be able to track everyone. Turns out that's not what happened. We saw the Bang Babies were created. He was actually working with the government on this thing called the Superman Project, and the Bang Babies were intentional. He planned on making it happen because the government was trying to test their new serum because they wanted to make more Supermans, basically. We see that the people involved are the Secretary of Defense, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and Secretary of Meta-Human Affairs, Amanda Waller. Now, all of them have been involved. Yeah, they're all involved. They're talking to the president. They're like, Mr. President, we got to get this taken care of. We need to get Dakota off the map. We don't want anyone to find out that we were involved with everything going on in Dakota. Pan over to the president is Lex Luthor. Now, okay. I am not too knowledgeable about the DC universe, but I do recall Lex ran for president. Did he win?
I think so, yeah.
Right? Okay, so that's what I imagined that they were trying to say at this point, that the way that they were tying this all in is saying that the Big Bang happened around the time when Luthor was president. So that's how they kind of are tying it into the DC universe. Hardware tells all the heroes, all right, y'all, I found Edwin being dead. It wasn't my fault though. But they obviously going to
let's make that clear.
It doesn't make that clear, but they're obviously going to think it was me. We need to get ready for a fight because the government is going to come and shut all of us down. That's pretty much exactly what happens. There's this big fight with everybody fighting all these guards. Captain Atom comes in and has this big fight with Icon, which is really cool. It did make me realize that, I'm a big fan of the energy tank characters. I have to say,
did you realize that?
No. I was already.
Okay.
No, this fight made me realize that a lot of those characters only ever really just fight each other. They need to find other ways for them to use their powers because they just have them fight each other and then leave. We got to find other ways for them to show how powerful they are other than just, fighting each other. But I mean, the fight was still cool, so don't stop doing it. I still liked it. So there was this really cool fight. The Justice League comes in. They're like, we should shut this down. We don't need to fight. The president wants to talk to everybody. That's Superman, the Trinity, basically. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Everyone goes to go and talk to Lex Luthor, who shows up, but the Secretary of Education. And the Secretary of Education is Jefferson Pierce. Black Lightning.
Oh,
yes, which I thought was a really cool role for him. I think that would be a really cool kind of job for him to kind of go from being principal to a Secretary of Education. Not necessarily under Lex Luthor, although it could be interesting because that they would
I was about to say that I actually wouldn't mind.
Yeah, because he takes Rocket and Static to the side and he's like, all right, they wanted me to pull y'all out of the meeting so all the adults can talk or whatever because I figured you guys wouldn't have cool heads. They're all Rocket and Static are talking to him like, why are you tucking us to the side? I can't believe you're helping Lex. And Jefferson's like, I thought there was a way for us to do something to help, by having a seat at the table, we can make some changes. And of course, Static and Rocket are like, that never happens. what are we supposed to do now? And Black Lightning's like, you know, as a mentor and friend, I want you to be careful. But as a black man, y'all got to do what y'all got to do. So he kind of steps to the side and lets them go out and lets them kind of break up some stuff. They were going to destroy all the evidence that basically anything that happened in Dakota that the government were involved in it. But Static and Rocket kind of take care of some things. Long story short, the Dakota heroes end up becoming Blue Marveled. Basically, Lex Luthor asks them to step down and not to use their powers. Like
everybody agrees.
Everybody pretty much kind of agrees. They handshake it off and say, "Okay, we will." Icon was the one who was like, you know, we need to not really do this. We need to find a better way. Hardware was like, we can set it off of here right now. Lex can get it right now, but you know. They weren't really trying to do that. Even Icon was like, I hate that we even have to do this way, but it's best for us to live for a better tomorrow. So Beacon ends up getting like shunted to like out of a time warp or whatever back to our quote unquote current time.
Okay.
And he runs into Static. Static's now got his like locks with his half up, half down. And he's obviously in college. We don't know what year in college he is, but he's definitely older and in college. And him and his friends are like studying at a school. Beacon shows up. He's like, hey, you got to do something about this, Static. Like, put your suit back on. You need to be a hero again. Static's like, you know, I gave that up. Like, we're not supposed to. Beacon gives him like, you know, the big motivational speech. Static is like, you know what? Put that suit back on and pull it from the closet. And there, the issue ends, and we know now that Static does appear in Titans. I think that was Titans number 31, where he is a part.
That was like one of the DCKO. Yeah, he showed up in like one of the DCKO issues, like with a bunch of the other kids, and then there was supposed to be a tie-in issue in the Titans, which I did read. He did not show up in it at all.
Yeah, I had a feeling that he won't be a Titan, which is good.
Always.
I don't think he'll be a Titan, but I did think that they were trying to show that he is now, you know, in the DC universe. Yeah, and that incident did happen and, you know, all that stuff. But overall, fantastic issue. I thought it was great. Honestly, 5 out of 5. The only thing that would have made this better is if there was a splash page at the end that said Static #1 coming this day, or you know, Rocket #1 coming this day. But
yeah,
it was a fantastic issue.
I think that's kind of like my biggest thing with the milestone books. I always would love to support them, and I'm going to read the issue. I have it like saved in my DC Infinite app, so I can read it a little bit later. But I always just feel like DC in particular loves to do these, we're bringing milestone back initiatives. It's about to be this big thing. You got all these books plans, and it either kind of fizzles out, or the universe that they're building tends to just revolve around Static, Icon, and Rocket. And then like they do whatever, and then they disappear again. So I will say I've seen a lot of people saying really good things about this. Like, it's great to hear that it's good. I'm excited to read it. I'm like always rooting for Milestone to like just really get their due. I feel like it has been a long road, and the characters are good. Like, Static is still super popular to this day. People are still asking him. It sounds like he's a little bit older as well, which is really cool. Like, Rocket's going to come back and be older. Like, people love her from Young Justice and want to see her do more stuff in the comics. She's got it. Icon, I don't really think he's that necessary, because isn't he supposed to be like a coon or something?
Okay, no. I think that's ain't that Blue Marvel?
No. Icon, the alien?
Yeah. He's not.
Yeah, he's
I thought Blue Marvel was the one that turned on his people for that white lady.
No, that wasn't. It was Icon. We'll find the pages. I remember they were dragging him.
Anyway.
But nonetheless.
Well, the problem with Icon was that he was more conservative, but his
that's what we're calling.
he at least had like growth in his story. You know, he's started off as being this conservative lawyer. He was working with, I'm sorry to say, he was working with Rocket, she was more like the liberal girl. And as he goes through his story, he becomes a lot more liberal. He landed during slavery. I think he like his alien pod or whatever, like landed as a baby. He was a baby. Like he literally has the exact same story as Superman, but he landed just during slavery.
Okay. Well, yeah, so Static and Rocket, I really think they should definitely get some new number ones. And then as the rest of that universe, like, and I guess Hardware, he's supposed to be like the Iron Man. I feel like I see a lot of people talk about him as well. Cool. And then I don't really know anybody else after that. So, but like, I'm taking that this is like,
I think Fate, I think is gay. It's cool.
Okay. It's a world. You know.
There was another part in this issue that I really enjoyed was, I said that the government sent in their agents or whatever to kind of stop the milestone characters. And obviously Amanda Waller, she's going to send in the Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad showing up and Bronze Tiger is on the team. He has this whole like moral debate about what he was doing there, because when they get there, they're obviously like stopping the Dakota people. But he was like, I'm black too. So like, hold on.
That's actually really good.
It's really interesting. Like he was like, they were attacking these people. And then at one point they were like attacking civilians, and Bronze Tiger was like, hold on, like that's not what we're here to do. And I'm here for my people. He literally turned on them. I think he took even the chip out of his neck because period. He was down for the cause.
Well, that's cool. I'm glad it was a good issue. I'm excited to read it. I'm glad it's doing well. I hope it continues to do well.
Yeah. I think a lot of the milestone characters need to just kind of like spill out into the DC universe. Like, it'd be cool if any of those like Blood Syndicate people could show up on the Suicide Squad, or anybody end up in whenever, kind of
put somebody on the Justice League or one of the extended teams. Like, you might have to put one or two people on the Titans. Sorry, and it's just a rite of passage.
It is what it is. Yeah, that's fine. Maybe the Titans can fight Shiv, or something like that. Like,
let them fight them. Yeah, I agree. I think that is also a key thing that they need to start doing. It's like really spilling them out, and again, as opposed to just those Rocket and Static.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. Those three will be fine.
Well, I guess we'll talk about me now. I've got two books that I actually really want to talk about this week. Before I even talk about them, I was going to let you know, I'm letting everyone know, I am going to start reading Absolute Wonder Woman.
Wow.
Yeah. I think an issue came out this week, and she was fighting Giganta, and I saw some pages across the line, and like,
you like Giganta?
If I love Giganta.
Oh, you could do like size changing characters. That's right.
Yeah, about that. Forgot about that. And the pages look so good. And I was just like, all right. I was like, fine, you got me. This is the one. I finally got it. I'm here. So I'm gonna start that next week. And so then I assume I will come back at some point with like my thoughts of that. But the first book I want to talk about, this is actually going to be kind of quick, was Wiccan Witches Road. And that's from Wyatt Kennedy, Andy Pereira, Brian Valenza, and Lucas Wernick does the covers. So I'll be honest with you. Let me tell you about the plot really fast, because I know you're not reading it because you have some weird issue with magic people, even though Wiccan's not reading with it. But this takes place after Imperial and all of that stuff that Hickman botched with. He killed off the cosmic people, and Hulkling and Wiccan have come crashing to Earth. And when they get to Earth, Wiccan can't use any of his abilities. Hulkling is hurt very bad, so Wiccan has like dragged him to this house where they come across the Baba Yaga, the Russian deity.
Oh, right.
Yes, so she basically lets him know that like your powers aren't working because you, as the Demiurge, have relinquished your your duties. You've been following your man up in space. You gotta fix it. I need you to find these items. She sends him on a quest. She gives him this fox named Nameless. We find out this issue that the fox is actually Morgan Le Fay, who the Baba Yaga has put a spell on, and she's familiar. Yeah. So like at the end of the last issue, while they were on this mission, they came across this child, and the child said that they were the Demiurge. Now, For everyone who knows, Wiccan at some point is supposed to become the Demiurge. Now, in the Marvel Universe, the way this explains it is that the Demiurge is basically the progenitor for the universe, creating all the elements. And before it was called that, it was called Terramancy. And like from that is how the universe spilled out from each other. It needed an heir to house its power and continue its work. And that's when it chose Wiccan. Because Wiccan was off in space, being a husband, the Demiurge did not like that. And I guess this form as the child is supposed to be that saying, like, you know, mad at Wiccan that he's left her, them, excuse me, they use they, them pronouns, that they left them. And that's why everything's out of whack. This issue really, really sold this series for me, not necessarily because of the plot. I won't lie to you. The Demiurge stuff and like this whole elemental magic aspect that they're giving to Billy, I'm not super into it. I am very much a believer that Wiccan's power should continue to be reality warping. And then like if he is doing magic, that is something that he is learning on the side. Like when you look at Wiccan stories, he's never really like learning magic. I remember during his tenure on the Avengers under Al Ewing, there was a whole issue where he went to Wanda when he was talking about changing his name. He was like, I don't feel right calling myself this because I don't do magic. But this is kind of tying his powers back into the magic aspect, whatever, we're doing it. I will say this book is really great because of what it's doing for Wiccan's character. Like, when you think of Billy from Young Avengers, the first volume, he was very much this like young, shy, super heroic kid who wanted to do great things. That's a little bit much. He wanted to do great things and he wanted to save the day. And he wanted to be with his friends and he was very like, he didn't know how to like handle a lot of things all the time. You get into volume 2, he's a little bit better, but like now he's really depressed because he's finding out what his powers are, how he can warp reality. And like all these things are starting to be questioned. Did he wish his boyfriend into life? Are these friends actually his? Like, is the life he's living actually something that he's done on his own or is it what he's created? So he starts falling into this depression. You get into him into the Avengers and he's kind of coming out of that depression. And he's getting a little bit more confident in himself and saying, okay, I can grow and I can do these things. He goes to go to space, whatever happens there. And now he's here. And the way he's been dealing with the Baba Yaga, the way he's been dealing with Morgan Le Fay, the way he's been dealing with the goons that he's fighting, even the way that he's dealing with the Demiurge and Teddy, it's such an evolution and like a full circle moment for all of the things that he's gone through. He's a little bit more aloof. He's much more straightforward with the villains. Like he's telling the Baba Yaga, like, you know, if you're sending me on like a mission that is bad, I'm going to come back here and kill you. Like he's telling Morgan Le Fay, like, you don't scare me, like we're equals, even though she does kind of knock him down in the issue. But it's like these things that make him a little bit more confident. And he even acknowledges them in the story. He's like, I'm being more mean. I am like doing all these things that I don't usually do. I'm not the hero that I always wanted to be. However, I like who I am right now. I like what I'm doing and I still mean the things that I'm saying. And so now he's kind of trying to come to this sense of like, I finally thought I knew who I was and now here I am again, learning it all over again. And like, now I have to figure out how is that going to react or how are the people in my life going to react to me? How is this man that I've been married to for this long time going to see me now that I'm acting different and now that I'm accepting these things and how is it going to work? So that's just been like a really, really cool thing to see. And I think it's one of those things that we always get from comic books that I talk about a lot of times with long form storytelling, where it's like, here's this book that we started reading and however long ago. It might take a really long time for you to get to the next point, but when you get there, it's like, damn, this is good. And like, that's how it feels reading this. And like, just the way he comes across everything, the way he comes to terms with things. He even has his breakdown moment. We ain't seen Billy cry this entire miniseries and he finally cries here. And even when he does it, it's not like in front of everybody. He goes off to the side into the woods. Teddy's there, but Teddy's also a doll right now. So he doesn't really matter. But the issue ends. Morgan Le Fay has taken the Demiurge back to the Baba Yaga. Basically, they've set Billy up. There are some monsters that are coming to fight him. That's where the issue ends. And then we'll get to the next one where it looks like he's going to go save them. He also does have a discussion. We assume it's about the Demiurge. One of the things the Baba Yaga needs him to bring is the heart of the person he loves or his first true love. Of course, Teddy thinks it's him. Billy lets him know that it's not. There's someone that he loved first. Not necessarily romantically, just like loved, but he just hasn't seen this person in a very long time. So we're assuming it might be this Demiurge form, but we'll get to that next issue. I'd give it a 3 out of 5. The art's really solid. The expressions are there. Again, I think the plot and the whole demiurge thing and like this elemental magic that he's getting, and like Wanda and Storm are kind of coming in to help investigate. I think that's a little bit loose, but just like the character work that's being put into this is like really, really, really good. And I actually kind of hope Billy gets that Wanda Orlando treatment where they get a few relaunches, no matter how good or bad the book might sell. And on to my second book. This one.
Okay.
Now, this is not.
Wait, what would you rate? What would you rate Wiccan?
Oh, a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
3 out of 5 for sure. Yes.
That's solid.
Yeah, it's solid. It's good for him. I'm very happy. I feel like, and I said this a long time ago, like the what is it? What's the word? The synergy took a minute to kick in for Wiccan, but it's here now.
It does.
And we're appreciated. But my next book, Psylocke Ninja number 2. This is also my book of the week. Tim Seeley, Miko Leon, Dono, Sanchez O'Mara, with covers by Derek Chu. Now, let me tell you, this is a flashback nostalgia mini. And you know, I am sometimes the number one combatant of nostalgia. But when it gets me...
I don't think so.
What?
I really don't think you... I don't think you are the number one combatant. You welcome it every time it comes up. Nostalgia happens and you be like, you look at it and you look around to see if anybody's looking at you. And if they're not really looking at you, you clap along too. But I think nostalgia will be good to you.
No, I am against nostalgia. I think we need to like keep our stories in the present. We need to focus on the now, and we need to talk about what's going on here today. However, today we're going to talk about what happened back then. Okay, because back then it was good. So, the Psylocke Ninja miniseries sees Betsy when she was kidnapped and transformed by the Hand and put into the body of their assassin named Kanon. And this story is like her first mission for them. She fights Elektra. Now, this is something that we've never seen before. From what we know, like after Betsy was turned, she ran into Wolverine and Jubilee. They help free her from the brainwashing, and then we follow them until they go see the X-Men again when they all meet up in Extinction Agenda. Great event. This does an immaculate job at like tying all of that stuff together. In this issue here, at the end of the last issue, Betsy arrived at the place of the Chaste. They are the offshoot of the Hand. Basically, the people who don't want to do the evil things that the Hand do anymore, they go and join the Chaste. And they have rescued Elektra from the Beast. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to take place after, I think Bullseye kills her.
Yes.
Who else? Someone kills her, and then they like resurrect her, and she's got the spirit of the Beast inside of her, and so they're trying to free her from that. And so Betsy comes in at that exact time. So she like starts fighting the Chase.
Elektra in white.
She's not yet. And one of the future covers, she is in white. Right now, she's still in red. So Betsy goes in there. She's climbed up. She goes immediately in. She starts fighting the Chase. This fight is amazing. She's using her abilities. The narration is talking about like how she really loves the thrill of fighting with her physical body. She's using her psychic blast to like add some intensity to her attacks. She goes to where they are holding Elektra. The process of them freeing her mind from the Beast hasn't been fully completed yet, but Betsy's here, so the woman Palm, who was trying to do it, has to stop and fight her. She starts fighting Betsy. She realizes that like, oh, you're also a victim, that something's wrong with you. While she's doing that, Elektra is waking up. She kills her, or at least it looks like she kills her. She stabs her from behind. I'm not really sure what happened to Palm after that. Sorry, I might have to go check, but it does look like she's dead. Nonetheless, Betsy and Elektra see each other. They have this really quick fight. It's really cool. You know, Betsy's letting it be known that Elektra is this perfect specimen. She is who I thought, Psylocke is what they're saying right now, because she doesn't know she's Betsy. A big part of it is like, I have these memories, but I don't know what they are. I don't know my name. I just know that I am this Hand assassin. And so while Psylocke is saying, you know, Elektra is perfect. She's what I always thought I could be. I can't really beat her because she has this form that has already been excelling above anything else. However, when Elektra's got her pinned down, she's like, I need to come up with something that can beat her. She's like, it's got to be something that only I can use, that she won't see coming. It can't be like a shotgun. It can't be like a bat. It can't be anything else. I need a knife, a focused totality. as she stabs that lady in the head. And it was just like so cool because, again, this is basically the creation of the psychic knife that we are seeing. When we first saw it, Betsy had already been turned. It was just something that she did on one of the ninjas when they were fighting in their training session. And it was just like, okay, she just did it from then on. We never saw it. We just know that it was her focus totality. It was there. So this is actually like the birth, the creation, what was going through her mind of when she did it. When she connects it to Elektra's head, she starts seeing all her memories, the ultimate intimacy, as they call it, back in those Claremont days.
Every time I thought about to be in another person's mind, it was always like, oh, it's so rich, it's so close.
Ultimate intimacy. And she basically sees all of Elektra's life, all the stuff with Daredevil, her growing up, Kingpin, the Hand, blah, 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 blah. This shocks Elektra out of her stuff from the Beast. It frees her from that. But it also finally shocks Betsy into realizing that, like, oh, hold on, like something's wrong. She kind of starts realizing like who she is again. She's able to kind of get away. She runs back into Matsuo. He's the one who kidnapped her and is working for the Hand right now. He's like asking her, he's like, who are you? Are you Kanon? She says, no, my name is Psylocke. I am called Elizabeth Brodek. Some people call me Betsy. And then she passes out. And he's like, okay.
She called it G.
He's like, okay. He's like, well, I still got to keep you alive anyway. So he takes her back. And then when he takes her back to the Hand compound, they put her through a second brainwashing system. And he's like, we have some business in Hong Kong that we need her to take care of. Now, again, this is where basically we would be meeting her in the Claremont Acts of Vengeance story at this part, because this is where now she's getting brainwashed again, and she's going to become Lady Mandarin to go meet with the Hong Kong underworld people and kill them. So like that was like a super, super cool thing that Seeley did to tread that needle. And like, I was blown away because I wasn't expecting that. I was really thinking we were just going to have like our one, like, but to know that now, add in the fact that Betsy has gone through like multiple brainwashing, it really adds to the sadness of the story and just like her mind being broken, and like, and also to see like her mind coming back a little bit, like that indomitable will. Also, Claremont, you still love to talk about those for the girls, have that pop in. The art, phenomenal. The colors, phenomenal. The action, phenomenal. The moment with Elektra. I won't lie to you. I was not a person who necessarily grew up wanting to see Psylocke versus Elektra. It's been very popular in the fandom, like since I was a teenager. People have always wanted to see that. It didn't really move me. I did want to see Betsy with the Chase, though, but that was because I wanted to see her with Stick, who was Daredevil's mentor, and he was also with the Chase. And I was like, oh, I wanted to see that whole connection. So like, it was cool to see her fight them in their white ninja suits. They looked really hot. But despite not being necessarily hyped for the Elektra Psylocke thing, blown away. And it was like not super long, but it was just so impactful. It was really cool watching her free her, like seeing that connection be built with them. And then to know that, again, she is going to come back later. She's going to have on a white suit. We've seen from a future solicitation, someone's going to come and kidnap Jubilee, and they're going to work together to go and free her, because by the end of this issue, now that Elektra is free, she is looking for Psylocke. She's like going around to places. She's like, if anybody sees this girl, let me know. And she puts a Psy into the picture. So she's going to try and come get her revenge. It's hot. I would give this issue a 5 out of 5. Like, wow. It was hands down like so good. I loved it. Again, and honestly, I'm not even going to lie to you. I feel like if Seeley hadn't have done that little tie-in to make this like adjacent to Acts of Vengeance, I would probably just give it like a 4 or something. But like the fact that he did that and was so seamless, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
great stuff.
One thing I've always really enjoyed about a nostalgia mini is when they can actually seamlessly weave it into the past story, and weave it in a way where it makes connections that you just didn't even think about that could have happened for the character. And it's like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense of how they could have gotten from, point A to point B. So that's cool. And I think it's really cool to tie in Betsy's psychic knife to Elektra, and like them having some kind of beef or whatever is kind of interesting.
Yeah. And it's cool too because
they become friends.
I think it'll be a little bit of both. And it'll be nice if maybe someone wants to pull it up and have them do something in the present. But I also think this mini is really nice because once Betsy was transformed by the Hand, there was never really a lot of insight into her mindset. from when she was there with them to be like how she's really felt since it happened. She's always made little comments about like, oh, my life was ruined. I don't really know who I am anymore. But it was just kind of like, okay, well, like when it was going down, what was going through your mind? Like, how is it like affecting you other than just driving you crazy? Like, what is it about it that's driving you crazy? And like, I feel like we're getting some of those answers in this miniseries. So that's super cool to see.
Okay. Wow. Psylocke Ninja with the 5 out of 5. That is impressive.
It was hot. I'm really excited for 3. I'm like really like this was like for Wiccan and Bessie, this was like a great week. Like I thought both of those issues were so strong for them and just their character arcs and like just tying them together into anything. Like great stuff. Good job to the writers. Love good man.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, then on that, let's go ahead and take a little break and then we'll be right back.
Cool.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the
TV and movie section of the show. And this week we'll be talking about episode 5 of Wonder Man. This episode was titled Found Footage. And it was directed by Tiffany Johnson and written by Anya Fakhri. Apologies if I mispronounced your name. And this episode was another what do I like to call these? Another side quest episode where it's not really driving the main plot forward, but you're still getting some character development and some stuff on the side here. This episode has Trevor Slattery ignoring calls from Agent Cleary, who was the Department of Damage Control, who he's been working with. Then there's like these drug dealers who Trevor he was partying back in the day, because when they brought up how much stuff he had, I was like, my goodness. Like, and they were like, oh yeah, that was just from one time. And he basically owed these people money. They want it back. Simon uses his powers to beat them up. The one part that I really enjoyed was when Simon picked up the one guy and threw them into the other guy, because in the comics, that is one of Simon's like go-to moves is beating somebody up with somebody else. One time he came to the Avengers mansion looking for help from the Avengers, and Hellcat like thought he was a villain, so she started attacking him, and he was like, leave me alone, but she kept attacking him. He ended up throwing her into Moon Knight and like using her to beat up Moon Knight. When they all tried to fight him, and he was like, everybody, I'm a hero too, but nobody knew who he was. It's crazy. But anyway, he goes out. They ended up being recorded by this kid who had a GoPro and was watching everything go on in the alley. Simon is freaking out because, again, he does not want people to know about his powers. There's that doorman clause. So they need to go retrieve the GoPro. Of course, we see some classic LA moments of traffic being bad. Trevor brings up the Hollywood Bowl, which he is right, y'all. Like, if it's something going on at the bowl, forget it. Like, I'm not going. The traffic is going to be too much. I'm not being bothered with that.
I honestly feel like traffic is kind of just like a nationwide problem at this point. Anywhere you go, any time of the day. I actually was talking to an Uber driver about this because I was saying, like, I feel like since the pandemic and like people really get into working from home and things like that, like people are at home all day. So they have more opportunity to like go out or like, just go run a quick errand. And so more people are doing that throughout the day. So there's just kind of traffic all the time, everywhere.
Do they have Waymos where you are?
What is that?
So that's the self-driving cars.
Oh, we have like self-driving cars. They're not called that though. They're called, I don't know what they are. Oh wait, no,
there's everywhere.
Yeah,
they're very safe from what I've seen. They're very cool too. Anyway, back to Wonder Man. So the kid has the footage on his GoPro. They want to go and find him. They end up catching him at this house where they see these people basically making candy, which is crazy.
That candy, when he was explaining it, it sounded so good. Like Marvel should actually make
spicy candy.
Oh my God. Let me tell you, when I was in high school, the Spanish kids used to bring like the spicy candies, the lollipops that had like spice and then would turn into watermelon. Ted, I was. That was it.
I know that's right.
I used to get a nice little bag. I had this girl in my class. Her name was Dulce. She used to bring me some.
Her name
Shout
is
out to
Sweet
Dulce.
Sal.
That's her name.
Selling
the dog.
Oh, she made a business.
Oh no, she wasn't selling me. She was just bringing them to me. But yeah.
Okay.
So when they said the candy, I was totally
been a big fan of like spicy candy. So
I like spicy things in general, but yeah, when they was talking about the candy, I was definitely like, I need that right now.
Yeah. So the GoPro boy basically asked Wonder Man to scare some people who he owed some money to, and he agreed to come over and do that. He comes to the house. There's this whole like shootout that happens. Again, this is the episode that has felt like this was just like a fun side quest. Things are going on during this entire like shootout sequence. Simon gets a call and from his agent telling him, Janelle, that he got the call back and it's happening like right now. He needs to leave and go do it. Mind you, there's still like all this drama and stuff out front with the cops. They run out back and then they leave and go towards the next round of auditions at Kovacs' house. Again, I thought this episode was fun, but it was again just the kind of the side quest as we get closer and closer towards the Wonder Man movie. I still think that dropping all the episodes at once was for the best. Because while this episode did have his abilities in it, it's still more of a fun side quest TV show episode. I don't know if people who were looking for slice of life. I don't know if people who were looking for more of the MCU stuff would have enjoyed this much if this was
I can agree with that
experience.
I will say though, I really like this episode. Like, I don't know, but I do also enjoy slice of life stuff. So I could be a little bit biased. Like I enjoy a lot of heroes that have that aspect to them. So this is really hitting a lot of buttons for me. I thought the whole scene of like them chasing the boy with the GoPro and like not really knowing how it works and like if they could actually do that. So going along with the mission, I feel like A, that was classic superhero, and then B, that's like very older millennial, older gentleman. Like we don't really know how this technology works, so we just does. So we just got to do what we can do. I love the part when they got to the house like with the kids and they were making the candy and they're like, no, we're just making candy. But then they saw Trevor and they're like, oh, should we get a picture with the Mandarin making the candy? Like I thought that was really fun and cool.
Go viral.
The stuff with the cops, you know, they were cops doing what they were doing. But Janelle, I continue to love her as that agent. I really liked this episode. It was good. And again, Marvel, make the candy. I'm like very serious about that. I actually kind of want some.
You know, they do have a Marvel MCU cookbook that they're putting out with like foods and recipes and stuff from every phase. I saw you could make like the shawarma from Avengers 1 and like some other stuff that they've eaten in the show. I wonder if the candy's in there. So I don't want to make it in myself. I want to lie. I would rather.
I would make the candy. Have you ever made candy before? I'm asking.
Why would I do that?
But like, you know, people were doing a lot of different things during the pandemic when they were trapped inside, like experimenting.
It's true.
You know, it's true.
My friends and I had a America's Next Top Model COVID edition thing that we did during lockdown, where we submitted pictures to my friend who was the Tyra,
the judge.
The judge. We had a whole like list of things. People, like he would post it online, and people could like vote. Yeah, and like I had like fans, like random people would comment on the pictures and was like, "Oh my god, like what we voting for?"
That's how you gotta do experience.
It was fun. It was fun.
You know, it was. I was about to say it was a good time, but it wasn't. Yeah, it's a moment. It was a different time.
Different era. But yeah, overall, I would probably give this episode like a 3 out of 5, 3.5 out of 5. It was solid, but more slice of life.
I liked it. I'd give it a 4. I like the slice of life.
Okay.
I like the like life stuff that they were doing. I like seeing the powers. I think his energy stuff looks really good. I I continue to really enjoy Trevor and Simon. I think that relationship is great. I like it. It's good.
Yeah. Shout out to Wonder Man.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, then that brings us to the end of this show. Make sure you rate and subscribe us wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to us at Another Relaunch. You can watch us on YouTube at Another Relaunch TV. You can email us at anotherrelaunch@gmail.com. You can find me on most social media platforms at UncannyLZ. Keenan, where can they find you?
You guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Keenan Lance. As always, there's an underscore at the end.
All right, y'all. Let's get up out of here and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
Peace.